Who am I talking with?
I am Nicole Clark. I am the founder and CEO of Trellis.
And that saved me, because I was going to say, who is Nicole?
Sure.
Where are you from?
From Los Angeles, California.
Wow, that was easy.
Yes, absolutely.
So how did you get here? Drive, take a train?
I drove, and we were actually in San Jose earlier, so came from San Jose to LA and then drove from LA.
What is Trellis?
Trellis is a legal data and analytics company. So we mine state trial court data and we make it searchable and we analyze it and we allow attorneys to basically research how their judge actually thinks about specific issues. Okay. Look at the case law that their judge prefers and really sort of tailor and target motions to the judge.
Did you found the company?
I did.
You did. There's another company that I remember I talked to somebody, it was like Moneyball for court analysis and judge analysis.
Interesting.
And also in California. I don't know if he's out of LA or Northern California or not. Yep. So is the idea that, I'm a trial lawyer, and maybe it's not getting all the way to percentages like, yeah, we can do this, we can do that, we can plead this, if they plead that, and this is the lawyer, and this is the venue and everything. Sure. You have 30% chance, so we better settle it. How are people using it?
So it's an interesting thing. I think the analytics are really helpful at a few times in the case, are really helpful right when you get assigned your judge to make a decision. Are you going to ding the judge, request assignment to a different judge? That's great for some hard data and analytics. The way that our clients use our product...
I laugh because I'm thinking like before, when I was practicing, we had an email. So somebody would send out a memo about stickler.
Anyone have any intel on Judge so-and-so?
Yeah, they seem okay.
Right? My favorites were the responses like, oh, he's a stickler for the rules. You don't say a judge is a stickler for the rules. Well, that's actionable data I can make a decision on. So, yep. And I experienced that at every firm that I was at, that email going around. I was often the associate that was tasked with sort of collecting the anecdotes and then making a recommendation to the partner. And it just blew my mind that we were relying on anecdotes. And there's so much data out there and there's such great resources. And here lawyers are sending around internal emails, God help us.
Were you practicing in LA?
I was. I practiced in LA and also in Orange County.
Okay. How is the data mined from the courthouses as far as scraped or gotten, so then you can turn around and present this information?
It's a great question. I have engineers that are far smarter than I am.
I understand that.
And basically one of the most difficult aspects of what we're doing is at the state court level, the data is so fragmented. So every single court is separate. Los Angeles County, separate from San Diego County. It's all, they host their data separately, they maintain it separately. So it requires a ton of work for us to integrate into to get the data coming in, and then the most difficult work is really structuring the data because it comes in messy, raw, unstructured, and we have to structure it so that we can actually make meaning out of it.
Oh, it's the same thing. We're bringing RSS feeds of content, and you have to make sure it authenticates to be able to pull it through. It's got to structure it. You got to You can call it metadata. You can call it organizing or whatever you want to.
Yep, absolutely.
How do judges feel about this whole thing today?
It's an interesting thing. I've had both responses. I've had some judges that I think are a little bit concerned about that level of transparency. I've had other judges that say we want access because we're actually reinventing the wheel more than we need to be. We can rely on some of our past decisions, use those in our opinions, and do our job better. And then also, maybe it would be helpful for them to actually see areas where they're an outlier. They basically want to be able to see what the attorneys are seeing, which you can't blame them.
Right, and knowing a few judges over the years that can be spiteful.
Absolutely.
I'll show you what you expected was not going to happen.
It's true. It's an interesting question whether the sort of observer bias might change anything. It's a great philosophical question that we'll continue to figure out.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody told me this is what you usually do in that situation, I'd back in my mind, I'm running around all over. When did you start the company?
So we started collecting data about 4.5 years ago.
Who's we?
Team. So started with co-founder, technical, someone who's the engineering brains of the operation. I'm domain expertise.
Okay.
So
how do why you? I mean, you're practicing law. I mean, you didn't go to law school and said I'm going to be running a data analytics company for data from courthouses and present it back to lawyers on a subscription basis.
No, that is definitely not what I went to law school thinking. You're absolutely right. The reason that we started Trellis was really I was complaining to a colleague one night about, I was writing an MSJ. It was a complicated issue. I wasn't sure how to structure the motion. I was saying I didn't know anything about the judge. And my colleague said to me that he thought he had appeared before my judge previously, and he thought he might have a ruling. And we went and we checked, and there was a ruling in the file that was on my motion, on my issue, by my judge.
In the firm.
In the firm internally,
right,
in one of the files. And for me, it was just this light bulb of, oh my God,
what's at the courthouse?
Exactly. There's this incredible practical data, and here we are, we're relying on Lexis, we're relying on Westlaw, appellate data, sort of academic legal research. But what about all the untapped data about how judges are actually ruling?
Yeah, and you just talked about it, MSJ, most of our summary judgment, it can decide the case.
Absolutely.
Somebody's saying, do you get the right to have a trial or you don't? The judge says, you don't, you're done. Go home.
Right.
You can appeal. And you're sitting trying to read tea leaves as to what the appellate court would say.
Exactly.
This judge has never been an appellate lawyer, nor do they even want to be an appellate lawyer.
It's very, very
They're
true.
going to rule on things in front of them based on the briefs and their analysis, and they're going to try to do the right job.
It's exactly right.
But why you? Like, why you? I mean, you have we and everything, but like, why was it you that said, okay, I'm going to do this?
The way that it worked was, my first step in was recognizing that this data was out there, that nobody was tapping. And my first step was, let's start collecting and aggregating it. I'm going to use it in practice, and I'm going to see if it's really valuable. And for a number of years, while we were collecting a super meaningful data set, I just continued practicing.
Right.
And during that time, I had such a successful motion practice, it changed the game for me. Because I sort of had the answers to the test, right? I could see the way the judge thought.
Did your clients know that they were now getting
no,
a lawyer that was more like...
It was my secret weapon. I didn't tell the firm.
Colleagues,
nothing. Right? It was my secret. They were like, why do you think the judge is going to deny that? I have a feeling. I just have a strong feeling. But it was such a game changer for me in my practice.
Where were you storing this information?
Well, at that point, we had created a separate hosted database, but I was customer number one.
Right.
So it was really me using it, giving feedback, and the database grew. It definitely got better over time.
So did you contact somebody you knew that did tech or what?
I went to the smartest engineer that I knew.
You know.
Exactly.
So can you do this?
I said, can you do this? And at first he said, I don't believe you that every data is utilizing, every industry is utilizing data, right? What do you mean law is not effectively utilizing data? I don't believe you. And then he went and started doing his own market research, saw the opportunity, and was like, oh my God, let's do this. Right.
Yeah, no, I love that story about it. I'm using it and I'm doing really well.
Well, and that's what it was for me. For me, I ended up feeling at that point like I was compelled to start the business. Like I no longer had a choice because the data was so powerful that the opportunity to start a business this big, this scalable, that's this helpful to attorneys was something I wasn't going to encounter again in my life.
And how did you... remind me again, how long ago was that?
So
you're starting to
about
use this
2
now.
years ago is when I jumped from practice, and we probably were effectively working on it for the last 3.5 years.
Yeah, so 3.5, 4 years. So you're going through this process, and you're saying, okay, did you tell the firm, like, I've got this now?
They became customer number 2.
Yeah.
So when I left to
You had left before they went back to the firm with the information.
No, I actually went, I told them that I was leaving, and I told them what I was going to do. And they knew that I had been winning for quite a number of years there, and so they were able to place it together and say, oh, the product and the equals win, yes, we want the product. And in fact, they actually gave us office space on site at the firm.
That's cool.
We had the engineers be able to iterate with the attorneys on site, and so it was our very first sort of launch into real customers.
Yeah, you had a firm with a little bit of foresight as opposed to get out of here if you don't like our model. Because I think a lot of firms...
fully expecting. I tell you, when I went in there, I was fully expecting them to say, adios, good luck with that, but they were really receptive.
How'd you figure out, okay, how much I'm going to charge? Is it a subscription? Do we charge by the firm? Do we charge by the user?
Sure.
Do we charge, whatever? How'd you figure that all out?
So I think particularly for startups, it's an iterative process.
Right.
I think it's a journey to figure out exactly what revenue model is going to work best with the customers, and you basically watch and then tweak and then watch and then tweak. My original plan was I'm going to be like Lexis and Westlaw. I'm going to sell to the entire firm enterprise. If one person wants it, the whole firm has to have it, right? Then I got into the sales cycle at large law firms.
Yeah, that's tough.
And so that sort of hit me pretty hard, and I recognize that what we really need are internal champions. When we get people using the product,
champions is the right word.
They're super excited about it, right? And so we need those folks saying, yes, I use it, yes, it's helpful.
One at a time.
Exactly. And we'll take them one at a time to take over.
I mean, we used to get the checks in the beginning, and then I go, wow,
right?
A check from a lawyer at Wilson Sonsini, but it's from her and her husband's checking account.
Oh, so that's amazing.
And they were coming like that.
Really?
And so you realize this person really likes what we're doing.
Exactly.
They're not even bothering their firm about it. They're willing to pay the $2,500 a year or whatever. They're going to be champions.
It's true.
It's going to do good stuff for them, and they're going to share the word to other people over time.
Exactly. That's the plan.
What's amazing now, we're sitting here talking, and I'm thinking about being a lawyer.
Sure.
You're being a lawyer.
Yep.
And to think that 3.5 years ago or 4 years ago, you'd be winging things off, revenue model, iterative changes, something that's scaled, the sale process, champions inside.
It's so true.
Yeah, how you sell, how you do tech.
Absolutely. Become an expert in marketing, an expert in sales, an expert in managing people, right? It's mind-blowing.
But it just happens to you.
It just happens.
Because
it's true. When you get really excited about something, you figure out how to make it happen.
All of a sudden, you're listening to other people. You go, "Yeah, that's." I remember what's scaling. Okay, that's right. That scales.
Right.
Or people say we want to do this or that, and I go, if you think we're going to start putting people to that problem to customize, that is really unlikely.
Yes, absolutely.
When we see the opportunity, we'll change the product and add certain features.
Exactly.
Because we're not going to go broke.
Well, we can't. We don't have the resources, right? It really is a study in prioritization.
Yeah,
right?
How do we maintain it? And we got engineers are going to work on one platform. They're not going to work on 2 or 3. Exactly. I learned all those problems over the years. I mean, obviously you're having fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
What was the biggest thing you learned that you said, wow, didn't know that? Didn't know that was going to happen.
In terms of the business itself, I feel like I get one of those every day.
Right.
It's just, and it's a regularly feel like, wow, how did this happen on a regular basis?
What was the biggest down moment where you go, oh my God, it shouldn't be this hard. I don't even know if we're going to make it after I thought it was perfect.
I think the down moments are the slowness of attorneys to adopt. So you get people and they'll be super excited about the product, and they'll be an internal champion, but then they'll say, help sell it into the firm? Oh, we don't know how to do that. But I'd love to invest in your company. And you're like, where's the disconnect? You're willing to invest, but you can't help us become a customer? And so it's very confusing sometimes with attorneys.
You're paying. They're paying per seat. Do they pay for a period of time? Do they buy a subscription?
It's a monthly subscription.
That's what it is.
Exactly.
What do people pay for a monthly subscription?
$100 a month.
It's really, really reasonable.
It really is. And we're not trying to nickel and dime people. We're trying to give them serious value so that they can go and tell their friends. We're making a great product, and we want them to be champions.
And it's totally, already, but it's totally the way to go. You want them as raving fans.
Exactly.
Not moderately satisfied, but somebody that brags about it to their friends.
Exactly. Each one of them become little marketers for you.
And then you can never let go of the fact that we're customer centered. Like we're 15 years in.
Right.
And sometimes it's hard, because everybody realizes that they came to work to a company, and the company always existed, and they always had all these good customers. So some people came for the job.
It's true.
As opposed for the passion and the experience of everything.
It's an interesting thing to recognize, right? That your employees don't, they're there because they share the vision, but they don't have the same level of buy-in as you do, right? They don't have the same amount on the line.
And I'll be telling people, well, why not? Mm-hmm. We all don't get this excited about it.
I hear you. You are preaching to the choir.
It was somebody that was in my company for 7 or 8 years and goes, Kevin, just so you know, not everybody here is going to be as excited as you are.
It's hard, though.
And I'm like,
how is
not?
It possible?
How is that?
Exactly.
We're all here. Don't they see this?
Totally agree.
What's been the most rewarding for you? To look back and say, I went to law school as a lawyer, doing a good job, I enjoyed it. What's most rewarding about this?
I think it's having actually built something that people love, right? So we were at a conference recently, and someone came up to me and they said, "I heard about this. My friend was raving about it." And it's the recognition that we started from nothing, and we put the pieces together to really build something that people love and use. That's huge.
Yeah, to have them come up and thank you.
And come up and thank you. I mean, come on, right? And never in my life as an attorney did I expect that, and it's incredibly rewarding.
It's totally rewarding.
Yeah.
I mean, because that's what people that are out there and get seen. Somebody came up and said they're a customer. Great to meet you. May have talked with you sometime, but never met you face to face. And how much you did to help them. I mean, you occasionally, I used to tell the lawyers that you get a letter from a client, you keep it in the drawer. On a bad day, you open it up and read it, but you don't have a lot.
But it's a little bit of a thankless job there, because you're just pushing forward on deadlines, and when you win, they expect you to win, and when you lose, they're not happy.
So if you're out there talking to law students today, or maybe you already
and we
do,
are, absolutely.
To you, the sky is the limit for opportunities for a lawyer.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think that we need to get out of the mindset that you're stuck in, the way that the profession has sort of generally been established. And I have to work at a private practice firm, and I have this number of years before I can jump to my next job. And there's all of these things that we expect when we go in, and I think I was under that mindset for a long time.
Well, we were educated that way.
Absolutely.
You go to law school and tell them that they got to change what they're doing, and they're thinking, we got to screw that up. We'll screw up our ratings. We got to get these kids out of here, and they got to go to major firms and make. They do. They actually say that.
Yeah, that's
really okay, but we
point.
can't do that, because we got to get the kids in the major firms and the major cities, and we got to get them clerking in the right spots.
Exactly, right.
Because if they don't clerk, our ratings will go
down.
There's
only one way to go forward, because that's what we're told, and then it turns out that's not the case. That's not the case at all.
All these opportunities.
So
look at you here today.
Exactly. It's a wide open universe out there.
It's great talking with you.
Absolutely.
This was
You
great.
too, Kevin.